Welcome into Fantasy AI. Moving on. All right, back in the computer room. We're going to look at waiver wire previews. Go over before the games to find out some players to watch while you're watching this Sunday. Let's keep an eye on the people on the waiver wire too, because that's all you can do at this point is add people from the waiver wire. Your draft is done. So let's get started. All right, let's jump right in here. Hey, not only let's start with Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell. Watch that Baltimore game and that Chiefs game. Well, hey, one thing I noticed was behind Derrick Henry, we had Justice Hill, and he was getting some action, but he's the only game in town. This Keaton Mitchell is out, hurt, right? Out. Is not expected back to the second half of the season from that ACL tear. So that leaves Justice Hill, who we saw a lot of, especially when they're trying to catch up. And if something were to happen to Derrick Henry, right, just Justice Hill's going to step right in. Now, he was active all last year, but hey, Gus Edwards was there and taking the stone. But hey, if something would happen and Justice Hill got in there, hey, another guy. What about Samaj Pre-Ryan? Ooh, tough to say. Huh? He got in some action. So with the depth there is just bad. So he's third on the team, but they were saying that he might fit with that scheme pretty good. And CEH is really no. And Pacheco, I saw him one time. It looked like he was crouched down like he was hurt. Came right back in. But just goes to show you, hey, wait a minute. Nothing else is P. Ryan, who they just picked up and kind of like, might all of a sudden find himself in pretty good standings there. But anyway, so also, oh gosh, some of the leagues have changing him back to tight end, Taysom Hill. So you might have already had to rush to go get him after your draft or create some havoc there, but Taysom Hill's out there now and might be back to the number one tight end there now. So they were listing him back as a tight end. That gimmick. Hey, some games, look at the blow-up games. You know, at least a good backup tight end might be your top tight end if you went light on your tight ends, like some of us. But, all right. And then Miles Sanders. Well, I listed him just because, hey, you know, really, after Chuba Hubbard, this Jonathan Brooks is going to be out a while, too. What if they start stretching that to 8 weeks? And at least 4. And what they've got an easy schedule. And Miles Sanders, at least he's been somebody before. So if you're watching the Carolina game, let's see how he turns out. And how the offense there for Carolina goes at all. We'll see how that goes. But hey, keep an eye on him. You know, another couple running backs here is Roschon Johnson and Cam Akers. All right? Cam Akers. Well, yeah, he's the third on here, but you know what? This Dameon Pierce just ain't been cutting the mustard. And Cam Akers looked pretty good in preseason, so you never know if he could find himself and been there, done it before. He might pass Pierce and then be sitting in the pole position if something happened to Mixon. So we want to watch that and see if he gets in the game some. They're going to play him some there in the Houston game. That's going to be interesting. Keep your eye on Cam Akers. Roschon Johnson, well, it sounds like he's healthy and he's going to play. So they like sharing here, right? Well, if something happens to that top 2, we'll see how much he gets. Roschon gets in the game. He'd get in the game. Look at that. Got in the game a lot last year. So, hey, you just never know. So, hey, right there. So we'll stop right there at Roschon and Cam Akers for a second. Hey, I wanted to show you guys something. Had my second draft. Right, I'll be back to that waiver picks here in a second. I wanted to get this in. I did my second draft, and this is a league that's been around for 47 years. I've only been in it for 35. And one of the oldest guys still in it, he's 80-something, mid-80s. He drafted last night. But anyway, this is a 10-team, 2-quarterback league. And been around for a long time. This is my big money league. So anyway, it's a 2-quarterback league, so I spent all my money on 2 quarterbacks. I got Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. I I like spending my money top like that, so then I don't end up with a whole bunch of bargains and no good players. You know, you then sometimes you're racing because you got too much money. You went too cheap. So I then had $10 to spend on David Montgomery. I liked him the whole time, and I got him. $10. It fell right in about where it was supposed to go. Didn't reach for any of these players, you know. So then Mari Cooper I got for $5. Was kind of running somebody. I mean, I wanted him. I was kind of running somebody up, and then all of a sudden I ended up with him. But hey, you don't bid on somebody you don't like. And I ended up with Cooper. And Rashad White I got too. Like him. So, I mean, I strength by numbers. I don't have very good stars, but I just kept getting a whole bunch of these. You know, I ended up with Bo Nix next. Now, I don't know. Hey, I took a quarterback just because, hey, it was in time. And like I said, this is a 2-quarterback league. There's only 10 teams, but hey, I always like to get that other quarterback. Now I won't draft another one. So anyway, then I wanted to spend, get rid of a player, so I had more money spend on the last 2. You know, and that was a cheap guy. So then I got Zamir White here for $9. And then I only had $1 left. That kind of blew that plane. But I took Pickens. And I kind of was putting Pickens out, hoping somebody else would bid. It gets crazy there at the end when you got $1 in an auction bid. You want to not put your player out too soon, because then somebody will just take him. So you want to put other players that someone else might take. Anyway, I got him for $1. But I don't mind him. I wouldn't have put him out if I thought I would mind it. Then I got then it goes to the snake free rounds. Well, then I got my Singletary. Oh, I had to give up Malik Neighbors for him. That's like I'm saying, you don't reach. It was coming there. I was wanting Neighbors, and I'm like, oh well. But Singletary came up first, and then by the time I got back, they'd taken Neighbors. But it was down to almost him and them two, and I took Singletary. I'm loading up with just running backs. Whole bunch of also rans. Then I took Jerome Ford for those 4 weeks or 5 or whatever. Hey, he might be the guy for a little while. Then I took Zay Flowers. I didn't start him, right? And I took Worthy. I took this Xavier Worthy. He's my rookie lightning. I always want to get a rookie. You know, this league, the last league I got Brian Thomas Jr. This one I got Worthy. Of course, I didn't start him. I mean, I started Pickens and, you know, and Amari Cooper. Sorry about that. All right. And then I got the Cleveland Browns defense. Then I come back. I'm just loading up with these backup running backs, just a long shot, because we take 18 rounds. And Trey Benson, and then I took Jordan Mason. Just names. And then I took Braylon Allen. You know, and then I got my 2 kickers. So the whole point, I didn't get very good. I tell you what, I didn't do very good on receivers. I did get these 2, Zay Flowers and Worthy, but after that, I don't have enough. I'll be going back to the supplemental trying to get receivers to fill out the weeks, because of Pickens and Cooper I wasn't too proud of, you know. But hey, that's what I got. But anyway, I had to slip that in. Let's get back to the free agents here. Cam Akers we kind of looked at. You know, hey, you never know. Hey, what about here in Washington? Got 2 wide receivers, right? We're trying to figure out who's going to be the number 2 wide receiver. What if this Jaden Daniels gets really hot here? Hey, you got to throw to somebody. Well, after Terry McLaurin, we got the Brown brothers here. I heard this Luke McCaffrey guy he's not separating. He's not showing up. Hey, they might be name only, I don't know, but he hasn't been showing up too good so far. So they have this they traded Dotson that created the hole. Well, they moved Brown up into it, but then right after they went and got Noah Brown, right? So, hey, Noah Brown, they might see. We're going to find out who ends up number 2 there. And what if that Daniels gets us on and gets going? Hey, we're going to be playing that number 2 maybe. A couple more number 2s. Gabe Davis and Mike Williams. Of course, Gabe Davis. He's not with Buffalo. Got that wrong. Anyway, how about Demarcus Robinson instead? I like him. Number 3 on a good team. Something happens to one of those top 2. You got a top 10 team passing. But Anyway, Demarcus Robinson, keep an eye and see, hey, not only if one of those two get hurt, but how much Robinson's in the game, you know? And we got this Douglas here. Did I do Mike Williams? Hey, he's available in my league. Oh, well, that's true. Okay, should say something. Hey, these are the people that in my league right now with 12 teams that are on the waiver wire before the season starts. That's who these people are. Hey, yours might be different. In your league, someone might have Antonio Gibson, right? But in my league, these are what's available. I kind of want to go through what's there. Hey, I've got better. So right now, I ain't picking up any of these guys, but that's what's out there right now. So, well, you don't know about Mike Williams here. He's available. He's the number 2 receiver on the Jets. 30th team in passing, but hey, they may go. What if everything works great, like sliced bread? Aaron Rodgers comes on, does good. Hey, Mike Williams, he's done something before. If he could stay healthy, he might get some good weeks. You just never know. And then we've got Wan'Dale Robinson, Michael Wilson. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson, there was a time where he was a thing. He's the number 2 guy there, I guess. Slayton's lurking here. He's available too, probably. And Wan'Dale Robinson's probably available in your league. Now, we're all assuming neighbors. What if Daniel Jones does have the 12th easiest schedule. So, hey, you get hot or something start working right for the Giants. Well, hey, this guy, Wan'Dale Robinson, look at that. He's been in games. He might become the focus. Anyway, Michael Wilson, now he's hurt. But Zay Jones, he got suspended or something. If Michael Wilson comes back after the 4 weeks, I mean, you'd be thinking ahead here, and it might be way too far ahead. Depends on how your waiver wires work. But, hey, eventually they're going to need a number 2 there, especially if Kyler Murray gets going. 13th schedule, that'd be nice. He'd be going pretty good there. Hey, the other day, hope you didn't take Pittman. Well, maybe. We'll see. But Josh Downs been hurt. This Mitchell, I didn't even have Pierce, but all through the preseason, that Pierce looked pretty good, Anyway, so we'll see how that all turns out there. Jahanni Dotson, he's with Philadelphia. They're number 3 now. So what a good team to be on. Team passing 16th, but hey, the team offense is 8. Something happened to one of these top 2 guys, so let's keep an eye out. You'll know who, hey, if one of that. And we want to, so when we're watching these guys, we want to make sure they're the 3 and, the 2 or whatever we assume they're at, and they're getting their snaps. So and Leggett. I mean, hey, he's probably, we got him 3rd on the list here, but, see how they come out passing. They do have an easy schedule all around. Maybe Carolina be a surprise team. And if, Thielen, old man, something happened to him, then this Leggett. And hey, they're going to try to show this Xavier Leggett at the end of the season. Hey, show off what they got. They'll start pushing it. They do. Hey, when it gets later in the season, some of these rookies that haven't been performing well, they'll push them to make them, And Douglas here, Demario Douglas, well, that's just hearing. He is the number 1, I guess, returning guy here in New England. Well, what if this Drake May catches fire? I guess he's not in yet, but, after he gets in and gets rolling, maybe he gets rolling and does some good passing and gets his polk. Bourne's been hurt. But, hey, so right now nobody has any of these New England guys. And, hey, they'll be available. You just never know. So, all right, well, hey, I'll after we get some game action, this is going to be a sexier list, I'm sure. We're just going through no one wanted to pick anyway right now. But keep an eye out for potentials. You might go to your waiver wire list before before Sunday, before you start watching all your games. Look to see who you can keep an eye out for, especially at a weak spot. So have that list ready. So, hey, one other thing. I'm going to do my next show. I'm thinking on behind the scenes here and give a little show how I do these recording, how you make a YouTube video. Here I use free software, wrote some of the stuff myself, but I'll give you a little behind the scenes. I'm going to do that in the next couple episodes. of that. And like here's an example. You see this right here? This is a little bit of, this is HTML. It's what the browser reads to show your what to draw on your browser. So that little bitty instructions there is the one that all it takes. You can see it's a lot of it's repeating. And I got it pretty big. That and then a little bitty. There's 2 files that work together, and of course you got to have the picture there. This one's called Waiver Wire Show, but that little bit of instructions is all it takes to do the zooming effect and put whatever picture you want in there. And you can do the zoom effects, have it move around. I use that for some of the others, but you know, you can see you can get a little zoom effect. But I mean, anyway, that's how some of the stuff works. You know, just this little bit of code, these 2 files, and then I haven't touched them since I wrote them a long time ago or whatever. Or all I do is I change the name of the show I put in there. But anyway, I was wanting to give you guys a little. I might make some little videos so you guys can do these shows yourselves. We'll get a lot more variety of these. You know, so I think that'd be fun, kind of fun. Hope you got some interest in it. All right, and hey, these have been fun. I'm going to keep doing waiver wires, I think, and certainly want to do a behind the curtain. Look out for that episode if you're interested in how I put these together. You know, I should have had a thing of that. I just cut and paste a whole. I've got it all written to where I just cut and paste a list of names and put it in and drop it in, and it gives me that show, right? This thing. I can just drop in any names and pretty well puts it in and keeps the stats updated. But anyway, I'll show you guys how some of that works in an upcoming thing. All right. Thanks.